The Fitbit Luxe is a slim fitness tracker that does all the basics well. It tracks sleep, steps, your heart rate, and even stress. But it's more like a health and fitness accessory rather than a fully fledged fitness tracker. But that might not necessarily be a bad thing. I've been wearing the Luxe for a week and a half. This is a review that's going to cover everything about how it looks, how it feels, how it performs in terms of workouts and exercise tracking, and all of the health and wellness benefits that it does have on board. Chapters are linked in the description below if you're looking to skip ahead, but hopefully you'll stick around for the whole thing. As you can probably tell, the $150 Fitbit Luxe is designed to really look more like a piece of jewelry or an accessory rather than a traditional fitness band. It's small, it's sleek, it's lightweight to wear on the wrist, and it also has a range of accessories like stainless steel bands or leather bands that you can swap in and out to change the look to your liking. If you compare it to some of Fitbit's earlier fitness trackers, say like the Charge 4, I'm not saying the Charge 4 is ugly, but let's put it this way. It's not exactly something you would wear along to a fancy dinner party. Now you can really customize the look with the Fitbit Luxe with a range of bands as I mentioned, but it really does start to get the price up there. Some of the accessories, including the Goyana stainless steel link bracelet, it's around $100. So it's getting a little bit pricey if you do want to make this watch look as slick as possible. I have a fairly small wrist, but sometimes I feel like the Luxe is maybe even a little too small. So I really think this is going to be suited for someone who has traditionally found, say, like other fitness trackers or maybe even smartwatches have been too big for them in the past. The color touchscreen is really nice to look at on the Luxe, but it is small and it doesn't actually take up as much real estate as the face itself. So if you are in bright sunlight, you'll see where the screen does end. The auto brightness sensor doesn't kick in as fast as I'd want it to, so there would be times where I'd be sitting there kind of squinting, waiting for the screen brightness to pop up. Unlike other Fitbit trackers, there are no physical buttons on the Luxe, and this means that you'll navigate all of the menus just using that touchscreen and actions like double tapping on the screen to return to the main clock face or sometimes swiping right to go back. I'm not gonna lie, it has taken me quite a long time to get used to this action, and sometimes if I think I'm double tapping to go back to that main clock face, I end up starting a workout by accident. So here's a laundry list of everything you can do on the Fitbit Luxe. It's compatible with iOS and Android, so that means you'll be able to see notifications come through from your phone and also see when calls are coming in. You can track your steps, sleep, heart rate, calorie burn, and stress. You can set timers and alarms. There are guided breathing exercises that you can do on the Luxe itself without needing your phone. You can track 20 different types of workouts on the Luxe, although there are only 6 slots available on the tracker itself. So if you do want to swap out anything, you can do that in the Fitbit app. Speaking of workouts, you will have to take your phone with you. If you do want to track your route information on the Fitbit Luxe, it only has connected GPS. There is no GPS on board like Fitbit's other tracker, the Charge 4. And you can also set goal-based targets, so you'll get an alert when you hit a distance, a calorie burn, or even an active zone minute target. You know, active zone minutes are Fitbit's way of calculating moderate to vigorous physical activity. I did test the heart rate sensor against a chest strap, and I did find it was pretty accurate in terms of resting heart rate. And with any optical-based sensor, there's always a little bit of a lag when it comes to continuous heart rate during exercise, but I did find it was pretty acceptable for this type of tracker. I think Fitbit does a really great job in helping you understand and break down what all of those metrics are during sleep, and it works pretty much the same on the Luxe as it does on every other Fitbit, at least modern day Fitbits that I've tested. It all culminates in a sleep score, and this is a score out of 100 that takes into account all of the things that went on during the night, like restlessness, your resting heart rate, the times that you were awake, and so on. And it helps you understand if you got a good night's sleep or not, even though you might already know because you don't feel so crash hot. There's also a stress management score on the Fitbit Luxe, which is calculated after having worn the tracker for a couple of days and nights consecutively. Now, this is similar to what was offered on the Fitbit Sense, which is Fitbit's premium smartwatch that was released in 2020. But that watch had an EDA or electrodermal activity sensor. The Fitbit Luxe does not. Again, that score is out of 100, so supposedly the higher the score, the less stressed you are. Now, I had this same issue with the Fitbit Sense. I think that's probably a little counterintuitive because I would feel like a higher stress management score would be like, I'm more stressed, but it's actually the opposite. Supposedly over time, you'll be able to use this score as a bit of a benchmark, so you can then manage your stress doing those guided meditations or even some of those breathing exercises on the tracker itself. It's just another data point that might help you manage your stress better, or it might end up stressing you out because you're worried about getting a better stress management score like me. The Luxe also offers you a free 6-month trial of Fitbit Premium. This is that $10 a month subscription service that Fitbit really hopes you subscribe to after your trial is up. It basically gives you some access to guided workouts. There are some extra health metrics available, including detailed insights on sleep, as well as Deepak Chopra's mindfulness method, some guided meditations, and some exercise and workout programs. If you want to find out more about everything that's in Fitbit Premium, I have put a link in the description below. I'm really glad that Fitbit does give you a 6-month trial of Fitbit Premium because I think that's really the length of time that you do need to work out if this service is right for you. I personally love those extra insights into my sleep quality and all of those extra health metrics that it does give me. But things like the guided meditations and the extra workouts and the cooking programs and all that sort of stuff doesn't really do it for me, just because I've found better ways of doing it elsewhere. But I think for someone who is just coming into the world of fitness trackers and you just want a bit more of an idea of what you can do with this, it might be worth taking the plunge. As for battery life, I did wear it non-stop for about 5 days and just a couple hours more in the morning and before I had to recharge, so I was pretty impressed. So what don't you get on the Fitbit Luxe compared to some other Fitbit watches and trackers? Well, for starters, there is no music control. You don't get Fitbit Pay, which means that there are no contactless payments straight from your wrist. You also don't get GPS. You only get connected GPS, like I mentioned, which might be a bit of a hassle if you don't like to take your phone with you when you're constantly going out and doing outdoor workouts. One other interesting thing to note about the Luxe is that this is Fitbit's first wearable since being acquired by Google, and you can't really see too much influence there at all yet. The only thing that I've noticed that was different from previous Fitbit trackers and smartwatches is Google's Fast Pair. So if you are using an Android, you can bring the watch close by and it should automatically detect it's there and pair it instantly the first time you use it. After a week and a half of using the Fitbit Luxe, I really like it. It offers some of Fitbit's best features in a slim and fashionable package. But I'm not exactly sure who it's designed for. For someone like me who wants a few extra bells and whistles in terms of smart features, I would probably gravitate towards something like, say, the Charge 4 or even the Versa 3 if I wanted to stay in the Fitbit family. If you're someone who just wants to simply track steps, maybe your sleep and overall heart rate, and you don't want to spend $150, there are cheaper options, especially in Fitbit's own family. You can get things like, as I said, the Charge 4 has had a price reduction, it's now around $100, or maybe even the Inspire 2, which does pretty much the same things that this can do. It just doesn't look as pretty. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you in working out if the Fitbit Luxe is the right buy for you. If you want to find out details on latest pricing, I've linked that in the description below. I reckon if it gets down to like 120, maybe even 100, I think it's a good buy. So if you have any more questions, you can hit me up in the comments below, and stay tuned for lots more wearables and health content on CNET.